I can see getting into the physicality of these roles, but how do you find the mentality? Because there's not really a lot known about either of these characters. How did you guys find that?
Well, yeah, as far as historical records are concerned, there's very little written about this time period. For me, there were fur trapper journals, and I think this was something that a lot of the cast read was, you know, the day-to-day struggles of these men that immersed themselves completely into the wilderness, how they survived, their thought process. But there was no journalists at this time, so we really had, it was almost like a science fiction movie in a lot of ways. We had to recreate this time period because we were only kind of reliant on Native American stories of that time period and the journals of these men that were in the fur trapping trade. But we also had great survivalists that kind of are nostalgic about this time period, that love to recreate what it was like to live there and almost look at, you know, the fur trapper or the mountain man as like a religion in a way.
And with you, I mean, you could have easily gone the twirl mustache and be the bad guy, but there's none of that here. Where did you find this guy and his beliefs and his needs?
I mean, everything is in the script, and as opposed to adding anything to it, which one would, I think, simplify the character down to a really bare, fundamental necessity of need. And everything. Well, what's wonderful with any character is if objectively their desire or their need is very clear, and with all these characters, their needs were basic and simple but incredibly clear. They needed to survive, and my character would do that at any cost, you know. And then one would sort of like it to just go a little bit deeper on that, as opposed to sort of approaching with any moral structure. One would look at his ethical framework, as in, you know, thou shalt not kill apart from in these circumstances. And then we start to enter the grayer areas of basic characteristics, so we could layer them up, you know.
Challenging is not the word for both this, for Mad Max. Does that draw you in?
What was that?
These crazy like working these you worked 9 months with this?
This dude has endurance. Like,
yeah, it's insane.
After seeing Mad Max.
I know!
After seeing Mad Max too, man, I mean, the physicality of what he had to do for long stretches of time in Africa, man, I really don't know how this dude, he's a beast.
Yeah.
He really is a beast.
I'm desperate.
You're desperate.
I'm trying to claw my way up the ladder. I'm burning out.
You're burning out a little bit? Next is a comedy, a light comedy?
Never. Nothing light.
With you, Leo, you it seems like you do a lot of things. What was real? What are we really saying with the bear and all that stuff?
Well, I can't say I fought a real bear.
Yeah.
You can say
You could say it.
You could say that. I would vouch for you.
CGI is used very sparingly in this movie, but there were real elements to that fight sequence. Very real. I mean, we were there for a week shooting that whole, and it was weeks of preparation for each one of these sequences. A lot of it was meticulously planned out, meticulously rehearsed, but almost everything pretty much everything that you see was done with real people in the real environments, with the exception of some, you know, help from CGI here and there.
Yeah.
You'd have been better off had you fought a bear, because for 3 days he was wired up to, you know, like these pulley systems that dragged him into trees and ripped him off the ground.
God.
And you were thrown about a lot on that, because it was a man in a blue Care Bear suit, wasn't it, as well?
Yes, football player.
A football player. But most of it was a lot of pulley work, and he was thrown around a lot.